It is stuff. 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 12 2
37 and a half
47 hot
100.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
How are you?
Fine.
Happy New Year. 2brosPodcast episode 16. Yeah, so welcome to the new year.
2018.
We are in 2018.
Get your shit done in 2018 that you were supposed to do in 2017 that you promised yourself in 2016.
Exactly.
That you were going to do because you didn't do it in 2015.
That is exactly the right way to approach it, because if you didn't do it, you're more than likely not going to do it this year either. The calendar really doesn't change anything. Some people think that they get a new lease on life, and I guess it helps in hindsight, but it doesn't really mean anything.
It's a circle. It just does the same. We're gonna do the same shit.
Problem is you. You're the problem.
You're the problem.
Right. You're the one that's stopping yourself from reaching any heights or inhibitions. But
you can read any book you want. It doesn't, like, the new year is not going to propel you to do anything. You can go to the library and get that book any damn time you feel like.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. But like gyms and subscriptions are always on the rise. They treat it like a Christmas. Like they look at it like
that's their season.
Yeah, and have you seen a shitload of, I'm seeing a shitload of gyms, grand opening, grand closing. Like, I see a Blink Fitness on the corner, and then it's Joe Blow's Fitness.
Oh, no, well, I haven't seen that, no.
I mean, in RVC, there's a shitload of them. If you go to, every block is a fitness place.
There's a new okay.
Yeah, so Joe's Gym, like Dodgeball, like those guys.
Average Joe's Gym.
Average Joe's Gym. I'm surprised they haven't done that franchise. But yeah, I always see that people somehow just.
Well, this is like you said. This is the new year, new start.
Okay,
I'm gonna go with the motivation, and what people forget is that it doesn't take motivation; it takes discipline.
Well, yeah, it doesn't take a date. It doesn't take the right to have motive. You have to have the motivation.
Motivation is easy,
right?
But the discipline to do it is the thing that you have to.
Yeah, I'm seeing that a lot, but you know what? Kudos to anybody that has started a gym membership and can keep it past March.
That's me. I got mine.
90 days, January, February, March, and all of a sudden. But they're great gifts. If you give someone a gift, is that a thing? You give someone a gift?
Some people have done that.
Yeah, you give a gift.
Or you include somebody on your membership or something like that or whatever.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the gyms. I don't know, because publicly, not embarrassed, but I just think there's too much. Like, I can't tolerate the fucking selfie guy.
It does come with a bunch of characters.
It comes with a bunch of characters, and so there's this thing called body shaming, or I've seen it
fat shaming or whatever.
Just shaming alone. Like, again, last podcast we talked about categories and all types of categorizations, and this thing of gym shaming, or gym shaming is what they call it.
Gym shaming.
Gym shaming.
Never heard of that.
It was on The View one day, and they were talking about how it's not fair. You go in and people are snickering and laughing, and with the selfies and the phones, and everyone taking pictures of their bodies and taking pictures of other people,
right? Which is
kind of like a no-no, like, you know what I'm saying? So
yeah, it should be. It should be one of those things where
no cell phones allowed.
That's a sense of etiquette. Like,
for safety though,
gym etiquette.
But even for safety, it should be no phones allowed. Like, you can't operate the equipment.
Right. You shouldn't be fucking around on your phone. You shouldn't be like, because I've seen people do that when I go to the gym too. They'll stop, and for some reason, one of the two gyms I go to on a regular basis. One's on the Hofstra campus, and the other one is the New York Sports Club. So when I go to the Hofstra gym, unfortunately, what happens is you get these groups of friends that are kind of like hanging out.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
In between of their shit that they're doing, like, they're showing you this so-and-so person texted me, like, you see what they said to me, blah, blah, blah. And, by the way, you have your set to do.
Yeah.
So they're there for like 2.5 hours, which is another, like, socializing thing.
Yeah, that's not cool. Like, that, to me, I don't do it anyway. I don't go to the gym, so I can't comment on it too much.
Right.
But I think it's kind of foolish to go. You want to go there, get your time in, and get the fuck out.
Go there,
Because you could do a half an hour.
Absolutely.
Be more productive, work out, and then get out, and then come and have the rest of your time to socialize and do all that goofy stuff.
You can work out long or you can work out hard, but you can't do both. So pick which one you want to do. If you want to work out long, you can stay there with your buddies. Like now, on the flip side, when I go to the New York Sports Club, when I get there in the morning, they too treat it like a social thing. But now the group of people a little bit older, and these old salts are coming in there with a cup of coffee and a newspaper.
Right.
Say, hey, Tommy, how you doing? Just go and they'll do something.
And then just go clank some weights together.
Right, clank. Yeah. You know the transmission on that car I had just gave out? I was working on it for such a long
juice bar and all kinds of crazy stuff. But I thought of getting into that business at one point of just having anything with subscribers and anything you keep members with is an opportunity to really capitalize on, because you're able to kind of captivate your audience, right? You're able to just preach to them and
if you can provide something.
Well, right. You have to have something people want.
Have you seen that gym that's on by the Roosevelt Field Mall? Like, was it Lifesize or something like that? Lifestyle? This thing is about a damn resort.
Oh, that's the wave. Like, there's a new culture of that going on.
There's an outdoor pool with a slide on it. There's like sometimes if you drive by there in the summertime, you'll hear music being played outside and people just like hanging out. Like chilling. And my wife went in there one time. She said, you go in there and they have like different like juice bars and different like sets of activity. It's almost like a resort.
See, like Soho Club is like that. Like Soho House, like downtown and the Village and Greenwich Village, and they have one in LA. They have one everywhere. It's an exclusive club. It's like no different than the Athletic Club or the Yale Club or the Harvard Club. They're private clubs, and they're like that. They have lunches, dinners. They have the gym. Like, my buddy Jim is a member of Athletic Club, and so a lot of times we'll have lunch there. In fact, last week we had lunch, and it's sad to say there's not too many brothers walking around the place. So immediately you're like, yes, can I help you? No, can I help you? Like they're like specifically like, okay, what's your, what do you do? Who you here with, et cetera, or whatever. And I get it. And I'm beyond caring about what they think. You know what I mean? I just won't entertain it because it just gives it starts the whole thing off wrong. It starts the
whole thing right. And that's not, me having this argument with you is defeated.
It's defeated because I have something to do. You're fucking working. Like you get to sit here and banter with everyone. I'm code check. Yeah. Oh yeah. Ooh. You know what I'm saying? Like I have fun with it. I'm really a fun guy. I like to have fun with those guys because they just. And one time we had a party there. Ron's college gives a winter. A Christmas event there, and then I get invited all the time because I meet with all of the board of directors, and somehow people think I'm somebody, and they just, because you're into a lot of shit. They're like, the president of the college was like, listen, here, I give you full permission, print those shirts. We love them. Like they,
to see a face, they attach a face to an activity, and
then of course, they recognize my son and they treat him with the respect of, and he always didn't want any like nepotism or any accolades from it. He wanted to earn all his stuff, which is cool and respectable. But these people, a lot of groups have made their way throughout the world by just their camaraderie and their alumni, and having, those institutes, clubs are what are important. New York Rotary Club, you've heard this. Right. What the hell is a New York Rotary Club? Like, what do they do? So I say this to say is that I went there one time and I was invited, but I forgot it was the day, and I was like, shit, I'm leaving work. I had a jacket on, but I had on black jeans. I was like, maybe I'll get back, and it was like, no, you. And I'm like, and I had an overcoat on. You couldn't tell I was wearing jeans unless you really. And these places are like really
checking you out. Right.
These places are really dark and woody. Like these oak cabinets and all this other stuff. And the guy was like, "You have on jeans?" And I was like, "Okay." I said, "Yeah." He said, "There's no jeans allowed, sir." And I said, "Yeah, well, I'm here with the group with the so and so. Doesn't matter. No jeans, sir." And I said, all right, let me call the guy. I'm sorry, no cell phone, sir. So I'm like, no phone, no jeans. Okay, I'm out. And it was like this. It was 2 degrees outside. Now, fuck. And luckily enough, I went to, there was a Big and Tall. I was a little bit more heavier than, I went to a Big and Tall right around the corner on 5th Avenue. And you remember the scene in Indiana Jones, The Holy Grail?
Okay.
When he goes in and finds the old knight in there, and he's like, I was waiting for you.
Ah, yes.
This is what this. I go looking, rummaging through the store. It's like 6:00, and there was this old guy in the back with a tape measure, and he just like, I said, sir, and he, oh, yes, I have it. I was like, I didn't tell you what size, and he's like, I knew you'd come. Come right here. And he's putting shit on my head and everything. I was like, wait, I just need a pair of slacks, like. And he sold me a pair of Ralph Lorenz slacks, which were nice. I still wear them to this day. But they were $150.
Oh!
And I was like, a free dinner turns into $150. And I was like, fuck. So I bought them. I was going to buy them and then return them and this and that. And I was like, nah, they're a good pair of jeans. Big pair of slacks, which were... So I learned my lesson. Be prepared. It's one of those...
what was this again that you went?
This the New York Athletic Club.
Okay.
On 5th Avenue.
Yeah, they can be a little parsnippy.
Oh, they're super parsnippy. Like, they really... And in fact, he's a longtime member there. So I say this to say is that he invites me there all the time. You go to sauna. They have saunas. They have pool.
Right.
They have like a big Olympic-sized pool upstairs. Like old Manhattan. Like this is an old... And there's nothing but old white men with blue jackets and Oxford shirts.
Right.
Drinking their cocktails at the bar and it's just like that every day for these guys. And then you see like the preppy kids are coming and they're shopping and the moms and they're at the club and they're having lunches and brunches. It's all private club shit. So when you're hanging out in there, it's kind of like, hey, we don't want to be around regular people. We want to be around members.
That's why we joined this club.
Right. That's why we joined this club. And they're like, who are you with? So you constantly get at who brought you here? So that's the fun stuff with that exclusivity. I think that's what that's what I meant with the club, the gym. That's kind of everyone wants to be a part of a club, right? Like everyone wants to be in this socialite club.
Yeah,
I think that's
part of it. You want to feel like you're you're in a spot that kind of like everybody isn't kind of allowed here. This is where I go. Right. This is where I go. Everybody can't come here.
It's funny. We talked about. We watched Marshall last week or the week before, and there's a scene where the other attorney, Chadwick Boswick,
I don't know.
Chitwood, Ediford, and Boswick, all these British black guys. I mean, they were invading Hollywood. Like they're all.
Yeah, they've always been around.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. So he comes to the club, and the guy's like, yeah, what are you doing in my club? He's like, and he's like, he takes his roll, bites his roll. I've had better. Throws it back in his face, and he's like, the black men ate your roll. It's just like, it's weird how that still has that effect on like people like,
oh. But that's a huge. The comedian Bill Burr has a bit about that.
Oh, he's hilarious.
Which I thought was hilarious. In which he says that, unfortunately, racism doesn't happen that way all the time, but that's how we dramatize it.
Correct.
So the bit he had was so they were the first all black swim team, and all of a sudden you shoot to a white guy. Get out of the pool!
I saw that. And you know what? You know what's so funny about that bit? The comedians, we love how they transcribe, social injustices and stuff to modern day stuff. Have you seen Chappelle's new?
I've seen bits of it, but I haven't seen the whole thing. I need to sit down and watch the whole thing. Listen, man,
Dave, you went off on that one. Listen, this guy really attacks some of the things that have always wanted. Like he says it is. I'm just bad enough to say it. You know what I'm saying? I know you were thinking of it, but I said it. So he goes in on like the Emmett Till case. He goes in on a couple of social injustice things. But Bill Burr said it. I like what he said in that one. He was like, the sequence of that joke was, when are we gonna stop apologizing for? Okay, we fucked up. We had slaves and we treated people unfair, but it's not like that now. So why do we keep having to show this over and over and over?
Right.
And he was like, okay, what's next? And he came up. He said something. There was a tail end of that joke was like they're running out of sports.
I can't remember.
The joke was something about they're running out of sports and what's next? The next, dirt bike team or whatever with a white coach, and he said the same thing. Run! He said it's the same fucking scenario every time. Some black guy, black team, white coach, and he was like, "Come on already, enough."
Right.
We get it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We get it. The guilt is over. You know what I'm saying?
Well, how much do we also perpetuate it, though?
Yeah.
How much do we say that? Oh, well, this is the reason why. Like, there's 1,000 reasons why your dinner got served maybe a little bit later than another couple.
Yeah.
There's 1,000 reasons why.
Yeah. Anything. Guy trips over his handkerchief or whatever.
But of course, we're going to add that one extra one that says, "Oh, well, okay, it could be because I'm black. That's why my freaking poached salmon got here a little bit later than that person's steak, and I could have sworn I ordered my stuff after them. Could be 1,000 reasons why.
1,000 reasons.
Chef could have fucked up. It might take longer for your shit,
and he had to make it over.
The guy couldn't get to the kitchen in time and stuff. Well, no, 1,000 reasons.
Million
But
reasons.
then unfortunately, we got to add this extra one. And we kind of like stay with that one. We don't go to the other more practical reasons like this one. This feels a little bit better.
Yeah, there's something to be said about that. I mean, and again, we always seem to revert back to previous podcasts because it's convenient. It's convenient to categorize that moment as that. You just say, yeah, you know what, I know what's happening here. This is that. But that's what I said about when I walked into the place. Knowing it is the key. Like, you have to have the self-consciousness to go, okay, this is that scenario.
Right.
I know how to do this.
Right.
I get by it with joking. I'm a huge jokester. I know you are too. But I will joke on, every place I go to, and they will just be spinning their heads going, whatever. Right. Like, we had this thing, me and the guys, Mike and the rest of us, we were convinced that, body language meant more than the words itself. Right. So we did this test, and I wish we had cameras back then because we could do it again. We used to go to Manhattan to the offices, and we was getting this record deal. So we were just convinced that we would just walk through everywhere and go, "Hey, soy sauce," and just say hello, like in the essence of saying hello to someone. "Hey, soy sauce, how you doing?" And everyone would, "Yeah, what's up, man? How you doing?" They would just respond because in the motion of, "Hey, soy sauce," and people just and they walk and they go, "Did he say soy sauce to me? Was he saying?" We were just convinced that you could say anything.
Say anything you want.
Yeah, as long as you did the gesture. Right. You know what I'm saying? So when people do like other countries, and you go no and no, it's hard. It's hard to fucking no, do it the wrong way. No. Yeah. Yeah. That's fucking weird. It almost feels like you're twisting your neck. But it says, a lot of people just have this body language thing that picks up on it. And one of the other things is always like, no one being in the hotel business, I've always maintained, a great map of great places to take a crap, There's fucking nice, clean hotels, man. They're public bathrooms, and the biggest thing when we're planning, when we're in the design and planning, every time we have a restroom on the first floor, everyone goes, "But the bums are going to come in and use the bathroom." And it's fucking true. Uh-huh. So, you got to act like you belong. You just walk in and, "Hey, what's up? Hey, what's up, man? How's it going?" Bellman, doorman. They want to say, "Sorry, can I help you?" But you act accordingly. It's just like when you go to an office building and there's a guard at the door. He's not checking everyone's ID. Right. He assumes you work here, or maybe he didn't see you, or maybe you're on a day shift and he's night shift, whatever else. But when you do this, can I help you, sir? Right. That's when you open the door for your own uncertainty. So when you act the part and you just continually walk in, hey, what's up? Yeah. And the guy goes, I'm going this way. Right.
I'm
not asking you. I'm telling you.
I got a friend of mine she's a bartender at a bar in Manhattan. Where I go to. I shouldn't say she's a friend of mine. She's become a friend because I unfortunately go to this bar a lot.
Right. Okay.
So she says, yeah, you see the difference between somebody who walks in, they walk in timidly, they they pitter-patter their feet.
Yep.
You ask them if they can help you. You go, do you
so uncertain.
And then they say what they want to say and say, sure thing, no problem. Can I see your ID, please?
Right.
As opposed to the person that walks in who looks the same, sits down, hey, how you doing? Can I get a Bud Light?
Yeah.
You put your money in the ground and then
you know how to do it.
You know how to do it. So
right.
so the notion is, okay, well, you've been here before.
Right. You know how this works.
You know how this works.
Right.
If I'm not going to pick on you, but now you're giving me all this, this a little him and haw.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, uncertainty unfortunately can like teaching my kids how to drive and stuff like that. And I'm like, the uncertainty will kill you.
Will kill you more than the
half step. Painful. You will hurt yourself. And so a lot of people say, how do you guys do it? You walk in Manhattan, you go here. Go. It's a fucking roller rink. Right. It's a roller skating rink. The object is to keep moving.
Right.
Even if you're going the wrong way.
Right.
Like if it's you can't just mid-stop. Oh, I was supposed to go Fifth Avenue and turn back around.
Who do you, when you're walking around in Manhattan, who do you hate the most?
The people
tourist that's standing there looking up in this, what's this?
With ambiguity. They just,
is this? Who's right in the middle.
Yeah.
You're like, get the fuck out of the way. Because 95% of us just want to get from here
to where we're going. There, right.
But you're like, this is common.
This is, I know it's sad
and they
because
stop in the middle of the sidewalk. That's another that bothers me.
Right.
They stop
like you don't know how to park to the lane, like a car.
Like
you know what I'm saying? Like just pull over and be like, okay, let me get close to this wall here where no one can walk by, or especially like I'm all about saying the same thing, teaching the kids how to drive. I'm all about the pockets, right? Mm-hmm. Like when you're driving, between every car, every driveway, those are pockets. So when you're driving and you see a head-on, the street is tight. It's about the pocket. You got to get to that pocket first, and who's closer to the pocket?
Right.
So if that person is closer to the pocket, they should pull into that pocket and let me go. Right. I don't have a pocket on my side.
I don't have a pocket over here.
So I'm on the right side. The asshole will just. I was here first. Now what are you gonna do? Okay, none of us will go in there.
Right.
Like there's no, just the thought of people trying to negotiate this. Competition. Right. The road ain't but this big, so you gotta have a little courtesy, and that's where people get it wrong. They just think their way is the right way.
Yeah,
I was here first. Right. Okay, now none of us are going.
None of us are going, so we're all gonna stop. We're all gonna be wrong and strong, and we're all gonna.
Yeah, that sucks. That really is a sucky way to approach life. But shit, crazy week, huh? With snow, we got dumped on. We got dumped on. It's not even fun snow though. It's not.
No, it's not.
Can't play in it. Can't do anything with it.
It's kind of weird because it was like because the wind was the worst.
Yeah.
Because we had
a drift, right?
We had a drifts of about. I think we had like what ends up being like 9 inches of snow, less than a foot. But because we had winds at like. I think sometimes it topped out like 60 degrees.
It was pretty bad.
Yeah. It like drifted.
Well, we had 3 feet. I mean, you could see I got a mountain in front of, and we just were like bunkered in. But I will say, what a great time to have a full stock refrigerator. Tons of you texted me, he says, I hope you got your liquor. Yep, I was cool, man. And I had no, as long as like now the new thing is the kids don't even care that the power goes out as long as the internet
doesn't go out.
So I'm like, guys, once the power goes out, the server goes, everything goes, So as long as you don't lose power, we were fine, man. We shitload of we did like a Denzel marathon.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, we just went
What
Denzel.
What movies did you see?
We did Man on Fire.
Great movie.
Awesome movie. We did Roman J. Esquire.
Mm-hmm. Where'd you see?
We did.
Okay. Sorry.
And what else did we watch? We watched another one with him. It was kind of like a Denzel day. I don't know. I forgot what the hell was that?
A day of Denzel.
Oh, with Clive.
Inside Man.
Inside Man.
That's another great movie.
I speak my words carefully.
That's
walk right out of that front door.
I remember watching that movie, and at the end, I said, "Oh shit!"
Yeah,
I love it when they do that. I love it when they show you something.
Yeah, and they catch you, right?
They catch you, and you can go back and say, "Oh, that's what they were referring to," because they didn't, in a sense, don't hide it from you.
Yeah.
You just don't know how this
right. You got to figure it out,
playing in, and then when you see it, you go, "Oh, I hate when movies like show you something at the end, but then they show you all the other things that happen that give you no clue as to what it is."
I'm a total spoiler alert with the trailers. Like the trailer, if you show me the villain. If you show me the ghost, if it's a ghost movie, and you actually show me the right, it's not I saw him already. The reveal,
I saw the best part of it. Man.
Yeah, the reveal is everything, man. The reveal is everything. Oh, and then we watched a bunch of fucking like shark movies, like 47 Meters Below.
Okay.
Which I thought I saw before. We had saw The Shallows before. There's a ton of these like open water, deep water.
Yeah.
The Shallows, and we watched 47 Meters Below, which was two girls on a trip, and it had that at the end. Oh shit, dude! So that was kind of cool. But what a great time to be hunkered in with.
Hunkered in with some Netflix. I caught a bunch of documentaries, and there was this one I saw, which I don't know if you saw it or not. It's called A Good American.
No.
You will love this.
Yeah?
It's called A Good American.
What's the setup?
And it's about this guy who created, I forget what he called it, but he basically created this network in which you can collect metadata. The premise of it is that had this been installed or had this been used, which was the intention, we would have known about 9/11 before 9/11 happened. So this guy creates this network, basically the same thing that's being used now.
Yeah.
But there was an encryption on it. There was an encryption on it that kept private citizens from being monitored and stuff like that. And if you wanted to do that, you'd have to you'd go through a warrant and what have you.
Yes.
So there was this internal battle between this guy and basically because they had corporatized
I saw a backstory to this. And keep going.
There's like four people. Four people who said that, hey, look, we created this network. This guy's a mathematical genius. And I saw it. And he created this network that basically says we can target certain transfers of information that will lead us to what we might suspect.
Yeah.
And so they go through this battle between the Department of Defense and the Department of Justice, and they're leaning towards the corporatization of it and using contractors to do this and stuff like that. And okay, so 9/11 happens. Oh my God, what a tragic thing to happen and whatnot. This group says, you know what? Let's put the information that they have. Let's put that information into our program. Yeah. And to see what would have happened.
Yeah, I saw this.
And they put it into their program, and it led them right to the information that had they have had this information, it could have been prevented.
I seen something like this, and I saw another documentary. It was part of a 9/11 documentary that shows this guy.
He's in a wheelchair.
Yeah. And he the guy who invented the program.
Yes.
Maybe it's not. Maybe it's the guys who. Well, whatever. But it's super fascinating how technology, how so many people have been on the brink of it, and I think now what this has led to is I think all the smart people in the world, all these institutions, all the these companies, they've all decided to say, hey, you know what? Let the thinking millions of people just dump the data in so we can cipher out. Like, let them think and let them give us the ideas and so forth, and then we'll just take the good ones out of it.
He mentioned that. He mentioned that there was a point where it just became a matter of people collecting data that had there was no
intention.
There's no rhyme or reason to it.
Right. They weren't doing it.
They just collected it and then they just dumped it to the people who they asked to interpret it, which meant that nothing got done because if you got a stack this high and 99.9% of that is just superfluous shit, it becomes unintelligible. I mean, you can't do anything to it. It's called A Good American.
It's good. I'm gonna check it out. So I wrote it down.
Yes.
But, I'm not opposed of data collection for services I pay for and use, whatever. I'm opposed of you prosecuting me for it.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm okay with you knowing it.
Right.
I'm okay. But you can't, if I paid for this and I paid services for it, you shouldn't be able to come to me and say, hey, you know what? We got you, fucker. You know what I'm saying? You did something illegal, or you said something or whatever else. Like, you shouldn't be able to be prosecuted by it. But then there's something to be said the other way, like, okay, just because I buy a car doesn't mean I can go run someone over.
Right.
So there is a responsibility.
But there were provisions in the law that prevented government from doing that. So if they looked at traffic and they said, hey, look, Orrin Whitfield the traffic from this place is always going to this place, and we know that this place does XYZ bad things. Mm-hmm. We need to figure out what this person here is doing. Well, then you had to present that to a judge, and you had to get a warrant, and you had to look at it even further. They eliminated all of that. So then all of that information is suspect regardless of what it is anywhere.
That's what I mean.
And so even if you didn't do anything bad, maybe you just, like you being involved in a terrorist network is totally different than you going to a titty bar.
Yeah.
But then they'll use that titty bar information to say, hey, we got you. So you got me from what?
You motorboating, son of...
Yeah, exactly.
And you making a bomb? No, but that's it's a tough, slippery slope, because when you talk about privacy, like I was showing it was funny, it was yesterday, I was showing a buddy of mine, because he asked me to help him hook up his system. He got an Xbox, he got this and all this other stuff, and he's like, yo, I don't have enough bandwidth, and I showed him what I use, which is data over power. Okay, so data over power. You familiar with data over power?
No.
So data over power means that your plug, your 110 voltage plug outlet that you plug in your charger to, your whatever else, can transmit
data information.
Yeah, data. So I can plug a transmitter and a receiver. So Wi-Fi, internet, Ethernet. You're a tech guy. You've installed. I can plug, and I have it here. I can plug my receiver at the end of my router, plug it into the wall, and come up here and plug the transmitter down at the wall into the router, plug it into the wall. Data. Okay. Sends data through everywhere. It doesn't know where to go.
Right.
The receiver has to say, oh, I'm over here, send that signal to me. But it sends a huge bandwidth of, you get the full Monty of it because it's powered. It has electricity pushing it through. So Ron's Xbox hooked up directly through this cable. He's getting the power as if he's plugged directly into.
So it's like he's got an Ethernet as opposed to just typing on a Wi-Fi.
He's not on Wi-Fi. He's not on Wi-Fi. Right. You actually tether it. You put it to an Ethernet. So there has been several controversy about how much of this goes. So your TVs are transmitting. You just need the receiver. Your TV is the transmitter. So every channel you watch, everything, someone on the other end or somewhere can receive it and go, oh, he watched channel 7 5 times. He can do this. He can do that.
That's how they patch into you if they want to spy on you.
So duly noted. Marijuana labs, right? Guys that grow marijuana. Well, how do you think they catch these fuckers? They're watching the kilowatts on your meter. They're watching. Hey, this was a family of 4. All of a sudden, they spiked to this amount. It must be a fucking heat lamp on. What's going on over there? Right. So it proposes. It makes the question come. So I think that's what your guy was doing. He was getting just enough to ask the question. Oh, they said bomb 7 times.
What's going over there?
Nitrous oxide and titty bar.
Right.
We should go ask him. We should go knock on his door. And once you get enough points on this scale, which I don't know if it exists, but this scale of measure that somehow says he might be eligible to be on this list. Yeah. You say the 5 keywords or whatever else. Like they always just say, don't say bomb on a plane.
Oh yeah.
And don't
be that dude who just...
Yeah, well, my friend, Herman, we call him Bomb, H-Bomb, you know what I'm saying? Yo, Bomb, so we just say it, and people... Did you say Bomb? No, his name is Bomb.
That's what his mother said.
Fucking hard. It's a horrible. Like it's such a tough thing, and he's like, "What? They call it a nickname. Sit down. Sit your funky ass down."
Right.
Some little Chinese guy. What is? Get some more peanuts with your allergies.
When you speak of marijuana, there's going to be an interesting fight going on about marijuana.
It is
because our what the hell is he? Is he the Attorney General? What the hell is he?
Sessions?
Jeff Sessions.
Yeah. Attorney General
basically said that he's going after even states that have legalized marijuana.
Really?
Which is no different than what one of the things that, a friend of mine posted this online and whatnot, and I wanted to remind him. I said, this is no different than what the Obama administration did.
Yeah.
The Obama administration still had raids on people in states that had legalized marijuana. There were still federal raids because it's a federal crime.
Yeah.
So the federal government can come in and say, and confiscate and blah, 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 and do all that stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But now the Attorney General is saying that, we're going to do this. Then states are going to go, hey, wait a minute.
Right.
Does that now how does that
affect?
You are now superseding what we as a state have decided is going to be legal.
It's definitely interesting.
And so now the states are, what I think is going to happen is that states are going to say, wait a minute, we've decided this is going to be legal. Right. Why are you bringing your dudes here to say that this should be illegal? If you're a believer in states' rights, the state has said that this is legal. We've figured out a way that this is going to be, monitored and blah, 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 and all that other stuff like that. Why then are you now coming in here and saying that this is going to be confiscated from the federal government, for the federal government?
So it would be ATF.
More than likely, who would be executing it, yeah.
Right, so that agency, ATF, which is a federal agency, whose, believe it or not, resources are very minimal. Like, in other words, they don't have thousands of agents.
Right.
There's not an ATF in every city. Right. They gotta fly there. They gotta go to where the place is.
Can we rename ATF?
Alcohol, tobacco, and firearms.
Tobacco's legal. Alcohol's legal.
Wow.
What the fuck are you?
And guns are legal.
Right,
so.
And guns are legal.
Right.
So now what do we? So why? Right.
Yeah, interesting.
Alcohol's legal. You can have as much alcohol in your space as you want.
So that would mean that these are the children chasers. Like we're after kids who don't use it illegally. Anyone under 21 chasers. I guess.
Maybe it was something that was started like during like times of like prohibition and stuff like that.
Well, we said that. Like when do we get a redo? When do we get the update that
Right.
When does the update happen for America?
Right. We don't need this anymore.
Yeah. Let's
do something else.
Right. Every time my iPhone fucking updates every 10 minutes. It's like, you need an update. You need an update. Well, we need an update. Goddammit.
The government needs an update.
The government needs an update. It's just policies have just gone wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. ATF is just weird. I mean, and all the FBI boys. I mean, what they call the alphabet boys. ATF, FBI, CIA. RIAA. That's the
DOJ.
U.S. Agriculture, Department of Agriculture, which a lot of people don't know. When the food stamp program was issued, it was from the Department of Agriculture.
Right.
And
I think it was an attempt to justify subsidies that we were given to farmers, so that they could like bring their product into inner city communities that didn't have good food or didn't have supermarkets and stuff like that.
All right, but it wasn't because you're close. It wasn't because of it wasn't a subsidy. There was a surplus. They were farms were producing more than they could sell in their own neighborhood.
Right.
But the commerce of it couldn't go. You couldn't sell it in. It had a 5-block radius, and you're selling it to other farmers who grow the same shit.
Grow the same shit, right?
So they don't want your corn. I got corn. Right. We all got fucking bushels of corn over here, and nothing, and it went to waste. Mm-hmm. And what it did was produce a healthy pig and cattle farming, which wasn't that big as back then. Back then, cattle and pigs and chickens and all that stuff. Because now you had all this food to feed. You fed the pigs that, and they grew bigger and bigger, and then people started saying, wow, pigs, and we could fry bacon and pork and all this stuff and cure it, and it'll last longer. But the program was, and it was why in LA they call it snaps. When you get snaps on the petrol, you know, you ever heard that term?
Well, there's a snap here.
Yeah, we say it too, but we don't say it as much as in West Coast. So.
Oh, okay.
But the program was called SNAP, and I forgot what it stands for. It's SNAP, which is Supplemental
Nutritional Assistance
There
Program.
you go. That's it. That's exactly what it is. And the snaps is where it came from. But they just had a lot of fucking corn and tomatoes and potatoes and stuff that were never reaching because to travel and get it there 2 hours from a farm upstate. You and I both come from a Fresh Air Fund where we worked on these farms, and I was amazed at the stuff that they could make on their own. Yeah. Like they didn't go to a supermarket; they went in the backyard. Mm-hmm. It was like, oh, dinner. Let's grab the chicken. Let's get this, and the mom cooked all day. Like plucked the feathers, did this, boiled them, took the eggs, plucked the cauliflower, like lettuce, and all this stuff came right out of the backyard. Milked the cow and all that stuff. We went for juice, like you know, like stuff that fresh squeezed oranges. Mm-hmm. We didn't have oranges upstate New York, So that's I think the with the Department of Agriculture's attempt to do it. Why it failed, I'm not sure why it failed, but we talked about this before. The welfare state.
You subsidize it.
Yeah.
And anytime you subsidize it, basically, you're getting X amount of dollars to grow or not to grow, and so there's no. I think there's no. It seems like there's no incentive to like diversify your crop, which makes everything better. If you diversify your crop, well, that makes the soil better, and this.
Right.
So you're going to get X amount of dollars if you grow X amount of acres of corn.
Right.
Well, that ultimately depletes your soil and depletes the ability for you to grow anything else. So, so you created bad soil, and so how do you regenerate the soil? Well, you got to put more pesticides in it, and you got to put other different chemicals in it to get it.
Well, you got to hump and bump. I mean, you got to now turn on the engine and you got to really just keep working it and keep the engines going. So, fan the flame or any one of those things. You just have to put more into it. But I think like anything else that we've discovered here is that every good thing is always a good thing from the idea. It gets exploited somehow.
It gets exploited, and it turns out it ends up being a bad thing.
Yeah. I mean, listen, no stranger. We grew up, food stamps were like cash. You traded, they were half the value though.
Right.
And you had to have the book, and you had to have, so there's no different now. These guys come with these EBT cards, and like that's the scam in the hood. Like, oh yeah, I gotta show these got the EBT card. Mm-hmm. You go in the store and Ponch rings you up for all this stuff. You're not supposed to have hot food.
Right.
You're supposed to have cold food, but he does it anyway and rings it up as powdered milk, whatever. And so this is the new economy, which sucks because it's perpetuated off of. It was like it started off on the wrong foot, and it was to help and to subsidize.
Right. It's
been taken advantage of, and people look at it like a bonus, like, whoa, free money. This is, and no one's replenishing the farm. No one's, like you said.
No one's replenishing the farm. No one's replenishing no one's boosting the community where you're from. So, in other words, there's no incentive for you to sort of like, hey, maybe I need to get myself another job so I can get, my family some decent food. Well, I got this card and I can always... we can get a chicken wings and fried rice, and that's 2 days worth of eating and stuff. And so at some point it becomes like you said, a crutch. Like it's a crutch. Once your leg is better, you need to get off that crutch.
Sure.
And there are people who have been on public assistance for generations.
Yeah.
Generations upon generations. Yeah.
Well, I mean, listen, in the 80s, late 70s and 80s, when we were kids. There was a little bit of pride and shame that went along with it, right? So if you were shameful, bashful of it, you did everything you could to get off of it, right? Now, I've seen, and I know people now who look at it like, yo, I'm getting old, son. I got the EBT card and everything, and they work it. They're not afraid. They're not shameful of it. They look at it as, oh, I got a little side piece of change. Mm-hmm. I go to Pathmark, hit them with that EBT card. Boom, boom, boom. somebody else is paying for it, you know, and they really think it's a come up. Like it's we just robbed the bank.
We made it.
We made it. We got an unlimited EBT card, and so that's a sad thing of society of this niggeritis, this type of mentality that the same guy I'm talking about is the same guy that comes out of we walk out of a store, bag of chips and and he just throws a fucking bag of fuck that.
Right.
Cool. We live here. We got so trash on the floor is okay for you? Like you're okay with that? They'll clean up. Who's they?
Who's they?
Who the fuck is they? The store owner? So you see this old man with the broom and he's family because that's his family, and he's shaking his head going, these fucking kids, they don't understand it. And then you want to come and rob the guy. You know what I'm saying? You want to come and rob the guy who works, busts his ass cleaning up your shit, provides you with a service, keeps the store open. Just the trade-off for him is to feed his family, not to feed your family for one day. And you go party, yo, we got $200. We robbed over a little bodega, you know. That dichotomy to me is broken. Like as people, we fucked that up.
Right.
We really fucked that up.
It's a lot of like self hatred and shit and the feeling that you're going to take advantage of stuff and then you do it to the environment that you're in. Right. You don't go somewhere else.
Yeah, that's the thing that bothers me.
You don't go. Why don't you go to another neighborhood? Why don't you go to somebody else's rich neighborhood and pimp that? So at least then. I mean, that's still a horrible thing, but
it's still horrible, but it's still a Robin Hood effect. At least you can say, you know what? Okay, I'm taking from somebody who has. I mean, you can somehow justify it. If your mind is tiny enough to think that somebody else will clean it up over there. Well, this is your neighborhood, so have somebody else clean it up in somebody else's neighborhood. That type of thing. It's just a horrible act. I mean, one of my pet peeves. I don't know about you. Is littering. I agree with you. It bothers me when I'm driving behind somebody and they throw something out the car. I literally I want to shoot their tires out. I want to just, you fucking, like, it's so disrespectful, man. Yeah. It's so, I mean, like, listen, I get it. There are some instances where, you spit out the window, that's can dissolve and it's not something that, it's a piece of hard material or whatever else. But that's just like, I have no regards for anybody. Just throw stuff out and it's out of sight and it's gone. It's gone. It's so bad. It's gone. It's so bad. Nobody, nobody's gonna on the highway. Nobody's gonna find it. It's gonna drift to some amazing place. And this same guy, by the way, when we had a barbecue, we had at the back of my shop, and we have commercial garbage, so we dump every Wednesday. We get a day. We pay. You pay. It's not a city comes and pick up your business, so you have to pay for your garbage. So he says, just put it in the car, and when you turn the corner of the parkway there, just throw it out. And I'm like, what? Like that in your head, that equation should not work for you in your own head. It shouldn't be an answer, like an option. And you go look at like old movies, like we were watching. I was watching Fort Apache, the Bronx, or one of these other, and you see how like people who when the Bronx was shitty, like the shittiest parts of the Bronx when it was burning and all this other stuff, and you talk about disenfranchised people and how they didn't have this and whatever, but yet they threw their own garbage out the window, like as if. Yeah, they don't give a shit, so we should just. We shouldn't give a shit. Right. And it's so fucked up, that mentality of just shitting on yourself, like the self-deployment, what do you say? Self-deprecation. Self-deprecation. It's just horrible. Yeah. You hate yourself enough to throw your own garbage out the window as if it doesn't exist, like it's a never-ending pit back there. Oh, we can just keep dumping shit. Just keep dumping it. But we got rats. We got roaches. That's right. They need to get rid of these roaches. There are always roaches in here. Stop throwing fucking ham sandwiches out the window and shit you don't want and stuff like that. Half-eaten shit and whatnot. I mean, but that's a culture thing that I'm sad to say is it's part of the burden of freedom. Yeah. Some people can't handle freedom.
You know?
Yeah.
Some people can't handle it.
You're right. But that does, I mean, damn.
Like, you can go, like, you can go out. Like, it's, you know, you can we can all do better.
Yeah.
You can always do better.
Yeah.
You know? Your obstacle may be different than somebody else's obstacle. Your obstacle may be a little bit harder to navigate. Okay, understood. But you can always do better.
There's always room to do better.
And you can always want to do better. And I think that's another thing. You have to want to do better.
Yeah.
You know, it has to bother you that you are standing in line with this fake money, you know, this paper money that could be printed anywhere and use. Remember when they had the coins?
Yeah, people don't remember. A lot of my friends don't remember this. I remember it, and they had 1 cent, 2 cent, 10 cents, and quarters. They were black plastic coins. They were
coins. They were green and pink, and
they were horrible, like casino money. It was horrible.
Yes.
It was like Monopoly money for poor people.
At some point, that has to bother you. And if you can either accept that as, okay, well, this is reality, or say, how do I not do this anymore? Do I really need that? Maybe I should not, you know, maybe I don't need that big juice. Maybe I can get a smaller juice if it's just for me. So if I get a smaller juice, well, that means I don't need that much money to get that. And that's, you know, hopefully you start going through this process in your head of saying, well, if I'm not going to do this anymore, how does that translate? Like, what does that look like?
Yeah, I just don't like that mentality that, you know, the hood rich mentality is like you're getting over. I have a Mercedes. I live in the projects. You know what I'm saying? I live in a public housing. I have a flat screen. I have
my rims.
Now, remember Claudine and all this other stuff? Yeah. They used to hide the toasters.
All this shit.
And Mom used to do this with us with face to face. They're coming. What? Who's coming? We didn't have shit
face to face. I've never understood what that was.
You know what that meant? That was you had
to. I know you had to.
It was face to face. It was exactly what it was. But she would always say like the face to face people are coming. What? I always thought they were like, you know, agents. Like they were like these secretive people. They were social workers. Right. You know, they were just social workers. Check on you, make sure your stuff was. So I mean, I have this type of agent, but that doesn't happen anymore. They don't. They tell you to come check in. They tell you to come in. They tell you to come. Did you go on any job interviews? Mm-hmm. Yes. How many? Mm-hmm. 5. What was the answer? No work. Okay. You got 16 weeks left in your program.
Right.
We'll keep sending you checks, but you're running out of time, buddy. Right. You know, benefits are running out, and it's unfortunate. But this is a system in society that many have abused.
Yeah.
And made it back. So there are people that need it.
Absolutely.
There are true people that have ailments, that have, you know, can't get up, can't walk, can't do certain things, have all types of, you know, physical impairments, and they're just not able to participate in a job or whatever else. But you would think now that technology has advanced so much that a guy that can't walk can work here, you know, can work from a computer and do stuff. So you can't be all the way fucked up. Like, you know, you can't be...
Right.
You know, so we talked about this a few episodes back about where's the training for the future? Where's the training? Like, at these programs, and obviously we're not in that realm of the public assistant world, so we don't know what happens or who advocates for them.
Right.
But I would like to think that there should be some sort of programs that, hey, you know what? As a stay-at-home guy who can't do too much, we could get you a laptop and you can do this. You can answer medical bills and claims and stuff like that. There are things that can be done with minimal physical participation.
Right.
Since we've said that many of things have gone, the physical communication, the physical part of work and play and stuff has been removed.
Right.
It's all here. It's all on a laptop. It's all on a computer. But I guess the mentality doesn't allow. There's people that just say, I can't do shit. Like, people have admitted that. We're going to school. I've been in school.
I can't do that.
I've been in school, in grade school. Well, I got asthma. I can't do this. I have a medical condition. I can't do gym. Like, you got to think gym. They were trying to just keep you basically fit. You know, if you push. And people, I remember growing up with people that were like, they trying to make us do push-ups in here. It was fucking jumping jacks. They were just trying to get you to get some blood flowing and going. Everyone made, let's go to the gym, do all this workout shit. You know, it was like just because someone told you to do it. And I think we missed it. We missed missed the opportunity.
We missed what was going on.
We missed what was going on because we just always thought that an institution was telling us what to do.
Well, we always assume the oppressive.
Yeah, right. That's what I meant. That's what I was trying to get out of my head. Yeah.
You always assume that it's oppressive,
right?
You know that it's. I'm going to make you do this,
boy.
This is right, and you translate all those things because 9 times out of 10, that's not how it was communicated to you. No. You know, that's
Mr.
how you.
Asher,
right when you retell the story, that's how it's been retold.
Always, how do you say embellished?
Right, exactly.
It's always embellished.
It's always embellished. Somebody made you do it. They forced you. They stood over there and they watched, and they tried to watch me do push-ups. He's the teacher. He's supposed He's
kind of his job.
Kind of supposed to be there. You know.
But I remember Mr. Asher and Mr. Johnson.
Joel Asher. Yes.
And they always used to call me John. I was like, no, I'm not fucking John. John John's gone. He graduated, man. I'm Chad. And they would always, you have that bat. He used to have a bat. He's like a plastic bat.
Did he?
Mr. Johnson, he was like a little Chinese Mandarin Fu Manchu guy.
I don't remember Mr. Johnson.
Mr. Johnson, you know him because I
remember Mrs. Johnson.
No, that's grade school. I'm talking 238.
Okay.
Mr. Asher was this big white,
big burly white guy.
Looked like what's the guy, Mr. Herman Munster. He was like
he was a big boxy.
Yeah, that road. He was like that guy, the Glenn Harris or whatever. But the other guy, he had a sidekick, which was his assistant. And he was. I don't remember him. He had a little Fu Manchu and a little chinky eyes, but he wasn't Chinese. He was a black guy. Mr. Johnson. He had a Fu Manchu, a little Chinese looking guy. Always wore these Adidas tracksuits and remember the fucking PE.
I don't remember him. No.
All the PE was the same, where you had the box in it, you fill your name in it, you write it with a marker, and the shorts and the stuff like that. But that's, like we talked about the gym and the shaming, that culture came from that, where it was publicly you were embarrassed that you couldn't do 5 push-ups or 2 push-ups, or you were out of shape.
Right.
So if you were a little heavy set or you weren't the most physical guy, the public shaming of it was where it made people feel uncomfortable.
Right.
So I think the reason why the excuses came was because of that. It's no different than what we started the podcast on, was the public shaming of a gym. Right,
because we started with the notion of, okay, well,
gym shaming.
We went through this thing where their feelings were a little bit more important than the practicality of what we're doing, and we got to stop.
Might be my landscaper too.
The government is at the door.
He saw a little bit of daylight and ran
opening,
for it. Yeah,
daylight, white dog in the snow.
Yeah, this fucking guy is like, aimlessly.
You would think at some point, though.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, yes, you don't want anything bad happening to him.
I'm just only afraid of the cars. Like,
right.
You know what I'm saying?
But at some point, he's like, man, fucking cold out here.
And that's what
food in that place. Let me get back over there.
I think that was happening, but I think he just gone too far to realize it and goes, oh shit, how do I get back? Because everything was white to him, I'm sure. Right. He just looked back and was like, wait a minute. Because when I found him, there was a guy shoveling snow like, what the? And he's like, I'm like, dude, you're in trouble here. I think he got himself full more than he could chew.
Yeah, probably. It's all right, though.
Where were we?
He's safe. I have no idea.
Yeah, he's safe. He's shivering like even more now. So I'm like, dude, go get yourself some food and relax a little bit.
Look, it's easy to shiver the way it is now. It's like fucking 9 degrees or something.
Yeah,
it's like bitter cold, and it wasn't this cold. It hasn't been this cold.
It's nice out right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the sun, only because the sun is out. It's 1 o'clock, so
sun's out and there's no wind.
Yeah,
but it hasn't been this cold for a long time. This cold for this long. For a long period of time. Like, we've had like bits where you've had a few days where it was like really, really cold. But this has been like 3 weeks now in which it's been below freezing and
since Christmas, right?
Yeah.
I mean, kind of since Christmasy. But you know what? I'm never amazed, or I'm always amazed that they just find new ways. The media now, this is called a bomb cyclone.
I heard that. I have no idea what the fuck that means. It's a bomb cyclone. Ah! You get to make you afraid of it.
Why?
It's a bomb cyclone.
A bomb cyclone. Woo! Okay, bomb pops. Like, what the
hell is that?
Freak happened here? Before it was the polar vortex. Now, if I ask people that now, they say, I don't know what you're talking about.
Right.
2012, polar vortex.
Polar vortex, right.
And I'm like, oh, it means it's going to be -2. Okay,
right.
well, that just means it's fucking cold.
Right.
Like, that's like what we said before. Is like if you overuse the word amazing too many times,
right.
you now have to find a new word.
You got to find a new one.
A bomb cyclone.
Right, exactly. A bomb cyclone, as opposed to just So like, what's that between that and blizzard conditions? Like, what is that?
Like, you guys got tired of the word blizzard? Like, is that what it is? Like, we're just tired of saying and another blizzard and another blizzard and yet another blizzard. No, it's a bomb
cyclone. And they put a little. We got to watch out next time. Like when they write it.
Yeah.
If you're in the bottom, you see a little trademark symbol in the bottom of it. Somebody might have trademarked it.
The bomb cyclone sponsored by Squarespace.
Yeah, bomb cyclone.
No, it's possible. It's very possible.
Listen, it gets to a point where it's just cold and it's snowing. And it's like none of the other things. When you're on the ground, none of the other shit matters.
Yeah, I mean.
It's cold, it's snowing. You'd rather be inside.
Right.
You know, with some bourbon, with a warm woman, and Netflix.
Charge up. You know, make sure all your devices are keyed in. You got everything you need. And, you know, just chill. Mm-hmm. Like, chill. Don't go nowhere. Like, let the people clean the streets. Let them do whatever they got to do. Just stay away if you can. If you're fortunate enough. And I know some people. But some people have, like, cabin fever. And they're like, I got to get out. I just got to get out. I got to go hang out. I got to be somewhere. I got to go out and do something. So that
not
can
just
be
walk around, step outside.
Yeah, that can be quite fun and annoying at the same time. But yeah, man, seems to always be a go-to topic whenever we run out of topics.
What, weather?
Trump? No.
Oh, Donald? The Donald? The what is he? What kind of genius is he now?
Oh,
he's a
he's. No, he said something. I don't know what a little genius. No,
he's a sane genius or. They were questioning his competence.
His mental competency. And what's this law, though? They said there was a law that prohibits a president from being analyzed by a psychiatrist.
Oh, there is.
They said there's a ward law or something. It was based on someone else, another president or whatever else.
Oh, really?
There is, yeah. I mean, Channel 7 brought it up. What's his name? What's the little guy? George Stephanopoulos.
So there's a law that says that he cannot undergo psychiatric evaluation.
Yes. That there's something that protects him from being diagnosed by a psychiatrist during his presidency.
So his mental competency cannot be questioned.
Not during. So it's you all the way up to.
We had our shot.
You had your shot. You look at his eye, look at his mouth. Okay, good fit for a king. You know what I'm saying? You can't once you're in, you can't. You know, it's like telling a king, you need to be checked. And no, I am the king, and I command no one checks me. Yeah, that's what it is. It's basically. I don't know what the name of it is. There is a law. If someone's on there on live, they'll tell us. Who's that?
Somebody's on there.
Somebody.
T. Gravine.
Tangible, my man, Maine. What up, Maine?
Mochi Maine. Whoever you are. I'm sure you've asked this.
That's my man, Maine, with Official Flavors Clothing. We had wore his stuff on last show.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, the maroon joint I had on. He's got some dope stuff on.
Nice.
He's really making his way in the business.
Dope stuff.
Dope, yeah. One of those words that just kind of like.
I love the word dope. I think I'm regressing back to those old. I say dope. I say groovy a lot.
Somebody. I just made a shirt for someone that said "Just be dope." You know what I'm saying? And it had a word. Someone made it yesterday, and I was like, "Yeah, all right, be dope." You know what I'm saying? No, dope is a cool word. Like it just.
That was Big Daddy Kane's line.
Yeah.
If you are what you eat, then they feeding me dope.
Kane was nice. Big Daddy Kane was one of the
fun rappers, man.
Yeah,
fun dudes. Yeah, and he was quick. His pace was.
Yeah, and he there's the art. What is it? The hip hop. It's a Netflix one. There's one on Netflix.
The Art of Hip Hop or the History
something
of
like History of Hip Hop. With that guy goes around with his shopping cart interviewing everybody. Like, that's what people get upset over is like the deliverer of the news or who makes you an authority?
Right.
And so many people ask us on the cast, what do you guys talk about? Who says you guys could talk about anything? Because we fucking can.
Because we can.
Yeah. We're just talking about it with us.
This is his mic. Yeah. This is his thing.
Yeah.
We can.
We can.
Come on and quibble with us.
Come on and quibble and quabble.
And argue.
Yeah, so after chasing the damn dog for... I got my cardio in. But yeah, so Donald Trump is certified or somehow said his button is bigger.
Right.
And then now says he was okay to talk to the guy. Like how could you do that? You want to quabble with the guy and then go, but I'll talk to you about some stuff. About the Olympics coming up.
Hey. Well, the Olympics got nothing to do with him. It got nothing to do with Kim Jong-un.
Right.
It's South Korea.
Right.
South Korea has the Olympics. And, if Kim Jong wants to be, like a child with a toy, he might say, hey, I might,
Little rocket man.
I might have to fuck up these Olympics that are going on.
It's true. But he's those things are pretty fucking dangerous. But the rhetoric of you can't help but wonder like what's happening in the other hand. Like the magic trick is always the distraction, right?
Right.
So what's this hand doing?
Exactly.
Someone's getting punched, really bad because there's always this moment of, hey, while this hand is doing this, something else is going on, and I'm always on the side of something else is happening. Something's brewing in the background.
He's getting us talking about something because some other shit is going down.
I mean, hey, listen, his oh, that's what it is. It's the guy one of Bannon's guys. He wrote a book. Yeah.
Right.
And it's called Fire and Fury.
Right.
So that's what he said. He says, the laws got to change here. We got to fix these laws. You can't just make up what's in your head and make books about it. And they were like, no, so yes, you can. Like, this is America.
So unfortunately, yes.
It's unfortunate.
Unfortunately, you can lie if you want to.
Right.
So if they are lies, but yes, you can.
Right. But the more truths you tell, the book is more true. You know what I'm saying? So he's getting on this guy for having a freedom of his speech. But
Trump's always been a PR dude.
Yeah.
He's always been a PR dude. And whether it's him on the Twitter account or not, or whether it's a staffer on the Twitter, whether he's like dictating something to say on Twitter, or whether somebody else is like, oh, this would be some fun shit to do. Yeah, my button is bigger than yours, or whatever. Yeah. Whatever that is, it's all like PR shit. It's all like stuff that look, I read stuff and I laugh and I shake my head.
You can't help but laugh at it. You can't help.
The president.
Yeah, that's the most interesting thing of it all. And I'm up in Canada a lot, and they constantly, even though we're just an hour away, playing in 5 hours in the car. They're amused, like they watch it like the show. Yeah. They watch America.
Like the show, right?
They're like, "What next? What did he say next?" I'm like, "I don't know. You guys see more than because we don't watch it. Like we just turned it off. It became something that we said, you know what? I can't do this anymore. I can't watch this show anymore. It's just no ending to it. So whenever you guys want to talk about some real shit and real politics, I'll tune in. You know what I'm saying? But I think that's what the other trick is. Like, you give him a boy who cried wolf. Mm-hmm. You just keep so much credit, much banter that when he really says something, he goes, "I told you guys, but you missed it."
Right?
You were so into my orange hair that you missed this. So I have a fear that is kind of what's brewing somehow, somewhere in the background.
Like somewhere around, some big shit's gonna happen, and we're just gonna play it off like it's all this him saying some dumb shit again.
Yeah. But these guys are just really they're pushing every envelope to just discredit. Make no mistake, he's the president. You know what I'm saying? And at some point, while I'm not a avid Trump supporter and so forth, you gotta work with the leaders, you know what I'm saying? If you're in that position, or you gotta somehow accept the government that we have and figure out how we coexist. Right. We've always said that here of how do we coexist? So what? I would so much rather the guy that tells me I really don't like you guys, for you,
than the guy who smiles in your face.
Smiles at me and does all this stuff and then throws stuff underneath the rug and puts oil down in the supermarket so you fall. These are guys that plan your demise. Well, speaking of that, back in when we had a teacher that had a cane, and these fuckers, I won't say any of their names, and probably one guy still follows me on Instagram. They put Vaseline on the cane on the rubber of the cane.
That's evil.
Pure evil. When she's
that's evil.
It just
that's horrible.
Oh man, it was so bad. It was so bad. And this was in 238 too. But it was fun. I don't know what made me think of that. But you got to be a fucking asshole to do shit like that. You know what I'm saying? You got to really be But that's what's happening. People are just like clamoring at anything and just everyone's voice and opinion. And I think, again, the social media platforms have given people voices. That doesn't mean you have to listen.
Doesn't mean you have to listen, and doesn't mean that voice is a legit voice, either. I mean, we have so much. There's so much information now, that people are saying that if you're one of those people who just like you read something and you say, "Aha, this is," and it fits in like to your narrative, the thing that you believe, we're willing to jump on that and say and take that as truth without somehow validating it, or looking at it. You have to look at everything, just like you said, with the edge of skepticism.
Yeah, but speaking of taking things for value, have you heard of this thing called swathing? Is this
swathing? I've heard of it, but I don't know what.
All right, so recently there's a case, right? There's a kid in Los Angeles. This is all based off of online gaming. Okay.
Oh, when people call somebody to your house,
dude, they killed this guy. They killed an innocent guy. The cops did.
I remember. Okay.
So check out how it happened.
One of those.
These guys were playing Call of Duty, right? And I guess the guy was beating him so bad or whatever else. He goes in and they're shit talking to each other or whatever online, and he somehow gets his username and then somehow traces his IP address backwards and somehow finds out where this guy lives. Like you got to be a fucking pretty badass hacker to do that.
No, you don't.
Well, okay,
it's relatively simple.
Okay, some people cannot put songs on their iPod. You're not. You're talking. When you say you could put song, they think you're a hacker. Like that's what I mean. The mild to the.
I get what you're saying, but it's not that difficult.
Right.
You can do it. I can show you how to do it.
True.
I can do it. You can do it.
True. So here's what this guy goes and he says, okay, all right. The fucking guy calls and then somehow replicates his IP and then makes an IP phone call from his house to the police in his local town.
So when they ping it, they say it's coming from here.
It's coming from the house. And he tells him, I'm at 2517 Adams Street. I just killed my father, poured gas all on him. The whole shit's going down, baby. And he's like, I can't take it anymore. He keeps hitting me. And they said, do you have any weapons? Plenty. You this and that. If you fucking come knock on my door, it's all over. He said, God help me, it's over.
So people
SWAT comes to his house in fucking commando, full army, tac gear. This is Kansas City. The guy who made the call was in LA. He was in Los Angeles playing in fucking Santa Monica or whatever, his fucking house or whatever. The guy answers the door. What the fuck is this? What's going on here? All these sorry, get down.
No concept of what's going on. Right?
No concept. He has no idea what happened, what's going on. And matter of fact, it was probably hours in between the two. He's, what? Fuck you, fuckers. This is my house. Get out of here. Put your hands down. But I ain't putting my hands down. Nothing. Pop, pop, pop. Shot him 3 times on his own stoop. Shot him dead. His mother comes running around. What happened? What the? And they're like, "Ma'am, get down. Well, where's the father? His father's dead. His father's not even here. It's us two who live here." Mortified.
Wow.
Mortified. So they had no intel other than the phone call. So the phone call was enough for this. Now, where's the training? Where's the training for this guy who has the ability to pop you dead just because of jittery motion? Like, you're behind all this armor. Even if he did stick his hand in his pocket and pull out anything, he still couldn't. You guys had 30 guys.
Right.
You had 30 guys behind armor, behind all this stuff. Even if he did pull out a zip gun, whatever it was, you could have been, whatever. They killed this guy just over the intel, which was bad intel. And the lady is going all out. She's like, listen, I can't believe that that was enough for you.
It must have taken forever. Well, it must have taken forever to figure out what the hell was going on.
Yeah, right. That's what this is now in the second month. It happened in December.
Okay.
So now they realize what happened. They went and traced the records. So we go back to technology, and they went and got some records of. Somebody came in?
No, I don't think so. Oh, yes.
Yeah, so they went and got records of who came in, who did what, and then with the IP, where the call came from here, went there, and they're like, holy shit, this is some really bugged out shit. And they found the guy, so they traced him back the same way. Found him, and they found out that he'd been doing this plenty times.
Jesus.
This guy has been plentiful going, and sending people telling him, the call, if you listen to the 911 call, the guy is literally saying, I just cut my pop's head off. I doused him in gas and I'm going out with him,
I hope this guy has been arrested.
So they arrested him.
Okay.
They arrested him, and now they're trying to prove the charges, making it stick. And what's the guy on Channel 7 comes on, and the lady from Savannah or whatever else, they get on. Well, the legalities of it, and he's like, they got to prove it. Like, you still got to prove it. You got to prove that this guy did this.
Well, it's kind of easy to prove.
How?
What do you mean how?
You have a phone call. You have a
yes.
Okay, so you have a phone call
that generated from a particular location.
Okay, so this goes to this digital mining of data.
Mm-hmm.
You have to somehow prove to an 85-year-old judge that doesn't understand the technology and stuff that he could do this, number one, and that your paper is to the law and says, we could tell he did it because he was on his computer at the same time and what I don't know. I mean, I'm just saying, I'm playing advocate here, saying I don't know how you could prove it that he said, because the crime he's convicted of is a prank call, right? He only made a phone call. Okay, he didn't kill a guy.
Yeah, but if you but it's also a felony if the call that you're making is that of the nature to which you're saying a crime has been committed. So in other words, I can't call 911 and say Orrin is doing X amount of thing. He's beating his wife for the whatever.
Right.
Well, what you've done is you've started something that leads to a certain. I think he can actually be charged with this guy's murder.
Okay, so that's the challenge of the court is saying, the guys in the legal saying,
can you be charged with murder?
Right. Do you go after him for the murder?
Right.
Do you go after him for inciting or attempted murder or even conspiracy to murder?
Manslaughter or something like that.
Something like that. Right. That was what the argument was, that they were literally trying to go after him for trying to see at what point is he liable to the murder. I don't know. He made just the phone call. He insinuated it or whatever. I mean, I listened to the call. It was pretty freaking goofy, But for them to go with that alone, and they were that huffed up and that puffed up to go to that level and go to this guy's house, knock on his door, literally boom, 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 and run to behind the barricades. We're like, okay, no rhyme, no reason. Well, what about saving the guy?
Then let me ask you a question then. Let's say that is true.
Yeah.
Let's say that the information that law enforcement had was true.
Yeah.
Then would their actions be justified?
Huh. If that's protocol, I don't know what the protocol is. So whatever the right way procedure is, that is to be looked at. That needs to be looked at. Did they do the right things? Right. Did they check all the boxes?
Right.
Did they?
Right. Because if he was a guy that had killed his dad and was crazy and then came to the door, what the fuck are y'all doing here? And step back, blah 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 blah, pop pop pop. Would that be justified? Were those circumstances true?
Yeah, I'm with you. I would believe that if the protocol was followed, but would the guy have still popped the guy anyway?
Right. That's always.
You know what I'm saying? And now this kid, and they show it, and it's graphic. They show him answering the door. He answered the door no different than me or you. Okay. I was doing something. What's going on here? What you guys bothering me for? What is all this? And he was just perplexed.
Right.
So in confusion, you don't have the right to be confused. You don't have my rights were violated because I'm confused.
Right.
I don't understand what's going on. You're telling me put your hand down. So at what point are we supposed to be? The subservient part of us. Are we supposed to always uniform, docile, no response? No, do we not engage law enforcement with some vigor, with some, and that's what. That message always seems to get pushed out there. You stop by a police officer, don't say nothing, let him do what he's got to do. You're hoping that he's doing the right thing.
Right.
You're hoping the officer is trained and is going to follow the book. But if he's had a bad day, his wife pissed him off, he's not getting enough overtime, he's not. Now he's got to fuck her. chokehold. Next thing you know,
when you become the behest of bad.
You're in the midst of his bad day. So, we talked with Shanna, when she was here on our second podcast, and training kind of goes out, the instinct kicks in, and then you kind of be human first. So, but if I think it's personification. You're scared. Like most of these cops seem to be scared. Right. They're just like, why would you get in this job if you're scared? Like now you have a gun, you're scared-er. Like you're a scary guy with a gun. Like that to me doesn't seem like you fit the right profile for an officer. You got to be kind of that cool hand Luke.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah. But I mean, you and I lived long enough to know that that's not people. That people aren't always that. No, I know. But somehow we just give police officers a higher regard. Our father was a police officer. We believe when every kid in school says, "I want to be a police officer," you just believe that they're super. They somehow have a capability that allows them to put themselves on the line. This person would not do you harm.
Right.
This person would not intentionally.
There's no malice with his job. He didn't come out. Right. Until I saw fucking Harvey Keitel. You know what I'm saying? Until Harvey Keitel comes out, bad lieutenant or whatever it was, fucked it up for everybody. So this is.
Well, and let's also not in this what you just said. Let's also not forget where this started. It started with somebody who had done this in the past, orchestrating this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right.
Somebody else orchestrated this. Now, unfortunately, the end result was all fucked up, and so yes, let's assume that these officers could have been trained a little bit better. Let's assume that this incident could have been handled a little bit better. Ultimately, I think, from what I know after you telling me, this has to fall into the lap of the person who orchestrated this.
Well, he set it in motion.
This person set
this chain of events in motion
for no reason other than he was getting his ass whooped on Call of Duty, or for whatever reason. Which it becomes another fucking issue. Like you willing to do that because you don't like what's going on. You don't like the
outcome of a game,
and it's got to be. It's one of those things where like, okay, this happened, and we figured out he did that in the past.
Yeah.
Like that transition between from like not doing it to the first time you do it. Like something happens like here in which you say, well, I'm going to do this thing. I'm going to figure out how I can get like the SWAT police to come to his place.
Well, but those guys live off of the reply, right? They live off of, I did this thing. Nothing happened. Like they don't see it happen. Didn't show up on the news. He's probably looking at all the internet sites. Yeah. He doesn't see his own work being appreciated.
Yeah.
But once he saw it go when he saw oh shit, it fucking worked. This is probably that's the moment I think what clicked into him. He probably said, hey, I got it. It reacted. Even though he could have set off 100 of those things, he just never saw the response because people didn't know how to report it because they didn't know where it came from.
Right.
And that is kind of a lot of people are on the receiving end of a bad joke in life. Mm-hmm. People don't know what's happening to them when kids do a little thing and put slippery stuff on the floor, black ice. I remember there was a time by Andrew Jackson High School, all my friends, there was a patch of black ice, right? A bunch of guys standing out there. We were standing outside, our snorkels on or whatever. And everyone, they said, oh, if we stand here, they have to walk past this patch of black ice. And it was just, hey. Funny for us, not funny for the person who can't grab himself. And somehow we made them go that way. The crowd made we stood enough space away so they had to walk past this patch of black ice, which you didn't see until you get the little skateboarders. So someone's always at the end of a terrible joke. It's a humanitarian thing, right? It's a humanitarian thing.
Oh, yes.
How far do you go with a joke? But some people, for the laughs, you may think it's harmless. But if somebody would have fell, and what if, what if someone would bump their head and never woke up? Right. What if something bad happened?
Right.
That's where the responsibility part kicks in. So a lot of people may not have that There's a lot of people that don't have that. I don't give a fuck what happens. Empathy. Right. That's what's called. Yeah, you're right. Empathy is something that a lot of people don't have from desensitization, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know if you can get it from desensitization. I mean, that's always going to be like the argument. Like, do video games or do bad TV shows? Can they desensitize you to something that?
Well, that's been a topic for years.
Yeah,
I mean,
can it? I mean, if that were the case, then we'd probably see more instances like this. I mean, if things like Grand Theft Auto or Call of Duty,
yeah,
prompted you to violence, well, you probably see a lot more violence.
Yeah.
Than what you'd see. I mean, and you probably see it maybe in small terms, but is it fair to say that causes that you're creating a direct causal link between stuff like violent video games and violent TV shows to actual violence?
Yeah, I mean, listen, we're not qualified to speak on that realm because there have been cases where people have gone on and filed claims against these games.
Right. Well, but they lose all the time.
They lose all the time. Right. But listen, I don't know the record of it. I wouldn't dare say I knew that. But there have been cases where people have been awarded for these fucking devil music and these crazy. My son killed his family because he listened to 1,000 hours of Def Leppard or whatever it was.
Right.
And so there have been cases that have. I don't know the record of it, and it'd be interesting. It'd be very interesting to see how that, how that transcribed in legally versus consumables. But I think that was what led to the labels on music.
Yeah.
As at one time they didn't have parental advisory.
I think wasn't Al Gore's wife?
Yes.
One of the bigger proponents of that.
Tipper.
She got that going. Tipper Gore.
Tipper Gore.
Yeah.
Fuck name's a kid Tipper.
Hey, I'm hoping it's a nickname.
Come on. What?
I would hate to think after 12 hours of labor that thing pops out of your freaking vagina, which is now wrecked, and you say we're going to call it Tipper.
Oh, Tipper. Or the guy was, can you Tipper? Oh, this is great.
Oh, that's great.
Great idea.
I would assume it has to be a nickname. I don't.
I don't know. There's been some shitty nicknames around. Well, one of the things, I digress. I go back a little bit. One of the things about what I liked about the Dave Chappelle show and his brutal honesty through comedy is that he elaborates on the transgender.
You're talking about in the last
one,
okay.
Yeah. It's one of the two. Two of them just got released, and he says, "Did you ever think of why it was so easy for Caitlyn Jenner to become a woman, yet it was definitely difficult for Cassius Clay to change his name." You know what I'm saying? Like the world prosecuted this guy for changing his name. This one got an award and got, put on covers of whatever. And he says his theory is the only reason that it's accepted to this magnitude is because rich white people want to do it. These are the people that want to change their life and they want the ability to do it.
Yeah. But
and he says, I'm giving away the joke, sorry guys, but he says, can you imagine, if Mexicans said, "Yeah, we want to be women." Oh, fuck it. Who cares what you want? Go back and go to work or whatever.
Exactly.
Who cares?
That's what happens to most people.
Right. But because wealthy people are in a position, or stars, or people in somehow.
Well, you also
Hollywood
have to.
Driven.
You gotta shame on freaking. I remember when that happened, and freaking in Caitlyn or Bruce or whatever the fuck it is now.
Yeah.
Still got the twig and berry, still got the X chromosome, still got the chromosomes. So I mean, I don't know. Just because you want to be a woman, okay, fine. It's, whatever. But now all of a sudden, ESPN made her or him or whatever. Like I said, whatever. That always stops. That's always going to stop the conversation.
Yeah.
I got to stop doing it. Like what, Woman of the Year or like 2 years ago or something like that.
It's crazy.
Whatever, and that's ridiculous. And so, okay, fine. You want to be Caitlyn,
Right.
but. I think to the point you're making is that, well, why then all of a sudden are we
right
felt the need to sort of like perpetuate it?
Yeah, why glorify it? Like why has it been an honor to do it? Like, why is it somehow rewarded? And
all of a sudden, she's now, or he is the spokesperson for trans people.
Yeah.
And that's just like, well, how does this happen? And it happens when you become a fucking Kardashian. That's what fucking happens when you become a Kardashian. Your man, Chris Humphries, like you said a few podcasts ago,
got off.
He got out. He said, whoa!
I'm getting off this train.
This fucking train is nuts.
Yeah.
I'm getting off. I don't care where I get off.
I'm sure.
I'll call a cab.
Fucking ended his career. Probably made him like he's irrelevant. He's no one to talk about. And somehow something in him, that curly head of his, he probably said, "You know what? I don't need this shit. I'll be all right by myself." He's probably fucking every day
happy.
Cheerios.
He doesn't care. And he's like, yes. So whatever. Like the tax man comes and says, yes, pay more, sure. I'm just out of that.
I'm out of that shenanigans. Fucking zookeeper.
They don't know what Lamar's doing with himself.
This guy is smoking crack.
And
poor L. He's from the hood. He's from around here, man. And you know what? Just to see, like, we already knew his plight. With what he was going through.
Right.
To culture vote, like how they vampired him. You know what I'm saying? That's damn near. What's the real word for Dracula?
Nosferatu.
No, that's fucking them. That sounds like Kardashian to me.
We milk them.
Nosferatus. That's what they are, man.
They milk souls.
They are Nosferatus.
They milk souls. I'm telling you right now, Kanye needs to come out with a fucking album.
This guy's he's gonna have fangs. I saw him one time and he had fangs, or maybe they did it. They did it. There was somebody who made him like a Thriller magazine or something. Michael Jackson, and they made him look like he had fangs and bugging out. But if he can escape, if he can unplug and come out the Matrix, I would love to hear the unplugged version. You know when fucking Keanu Reeves comes out and he goes, I fucking woke up. Keanu Reeves always looks like he fucked his mother. This guy always, I hate this guy. I hate him because he still has the Bill and Ted look on him. What happened? Where am I? What planet am I on? He's always got this goofy look ghostly look. Even though as cool as the Matrix guy was, with dodging bullets and stuff, that's what I want to see Kanye. I want to see Kanye when he goes, oh, shit. I was tripping. Y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like, pull that plug out of they probably put like a cord up their necks and drain your blood out. And
that's fucking hilarious.
Nosferatu.
Keanu Reeves is a cool dude, though.
He is a cool dude. I just don't like his
once in a while, you'll catch him on the subway.
Yeah?
Yeah. He still, the dude, when he's in New York, he still takes the subway. Not too long ago, I saw him in the subway. Just past, like, he got off. He's on the F train.
Damn, that'd be crazy. I saw the guys from Mythbusters on the subway.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the sandy hair guy with the orange hair.
Okay.
Yeah, he was like, he's like, all right. I said, yo, what's up, man? He's like, oh, no, please. I'm trying to make a swift getaway.
Trying to make this quick.
Yeah, but it's just so, they're bloodsuckers, man. They I'm not a fan of like the reality shows, and I peek every once in a while. Like I peek. But like sometimes somebody will be like, "Oh, I don't know the difference between Chloe, Kim, or whatever." If I saw one of them, I go, "I made myself not understand them. I made myself not like them, not to the point where I hate them, but I just don't care for them. Like I just don't care for any of their banter, any of their, anything that deals with them. I don't really care to like when people go, "Oh, did you hear what happened? She got locked up in the bathroom." No. Anyway, how about those Knicks, man?
Exactly.
Yeah, I just want to move
why I love sports,
on
man.
from. It's a great.
That's why I love sports. Sports is
segue.
like anything involving sports is it's always different.
Yeah.
There's always going to be a storyline to it.
Yeah.
There's some authenticism to it, and the ultimate result is these athletes who we all wish we had these
gladiators
skills to do. Yeah. These gladiators go out and they go do their thing.
Sure.
And they win, they lose. Some are stupid, some are geniuses, some are just. But there's always something new. It's real. We take it on as being relevant, but then when it's done, we can put it down.
Game over.
And then just walk away from it.
I punish myself anytime a Knick game is on. I'm one of those fans that will root because I live here, and I will be NYK probably for life until I move away. Or if I move away, I'll probably still be in the fan. You'll take it with you. It's just like, but I get to turn it off and sigh and okay, it's another reason to have a drink, and you know, it's just you walk away from it. No, I don't take it with me. People that do that is we talked about this before. They're just like carrying the extra bags. Like, why would you? And by the way, these are my team. Okay, all right. You know,
did I tell you?
They send you a check.
Yeah, I know, right? But if they send you a check for the publicity, did I tell you that I was in a? It was this like before Christmas time. I was in a bar, and there were these 3 or 4 older dudes dressed up as Santa Claus.
No, I didn't hear the story.
They were dressed up as Santa Claus, and these were older guys. A couple of them had like long white beards, so they looked like they fit the part. They're in Santa outfits, you know, but they're drunk out their mind, arguing about sports. It's one of the most hilarious things I ever saw in my life. These Santa Clauses going, yeah, but that's how the Mets are gonna fuck it up because they don't know how to fucking spend their money right. And then the other one's coming back, and I'm like, oh, what are you doing? And I'm standing there looking at this.
Amazed.
I'm like, this is fucking awesome.
Amazed.
This is awesome. These 4 Santa Clauses sitting there arguing about the freaking Mets. This is brilliant. This is fantastic. That's the reality I want to encompass myself in.
Oh, but that's
I don't want this. My wife she watches it every once in a while, and so sometimes I'll scoot by and say, oh, what you watching? And I saw them in a limousine driving through poor neighborhoods in Los Angeles. The thing was their horrible sympathy that they had for these poor people.
Right.
While they're in this limousine.
Oh, look at them.
Something's got to be done.
Yeah. That's like going to an aquarium and looking at the fucking otters and saying, oh, they're poor little otters. These poor little things. Now, mind you, there are tours in New York, and we live here. We don't do tourism stuff, and I've the hop on. I told Chad to get on it. He got on it. Yeah, it takes you up to like the Bronx, man, and I'll say this is the South Bronx where it once was burnt down.
Takes you some sketchy spots.
It takes you to Harlem, takes you South Bronx, and in the summertime when you do it, and people look like I don't want to be fishbowled. Like I don't want you to drive by my house. And look at me with your cameras and all this stuff. Look at the natives. Like, that's kind of whack to me. But I guess you want to see real people. But I don't think it should be a tour thing. I don't think it should be like if you go on your own and you walk and you're brave enough to walk through those neighborhoods, you walk through. But this little going on a trolley car and because you're not giving anything to those people.
It's like a zoo.
Yeah, it's a zoo. It's like going to a zoo. Look at the monkeys.
Right, exactly.
If we're quiet, we may see a live one.
Oh.
He may scratch his ass.
There's a dude slapping his woman.
Yeah.
He just called her dumb bitch.
With a wife beater on, which no one could tell where that comes from. Where does that tank top come from?
And we've just accepted it.
The wife beater tank top is accepted worldwide.
Nobody has ever said, hey, let's stop calling this thing a fucking wife beater.
It's an T-shirt. It's an A-frame shirt. It's a tank top.
A tank top. But can we just stop calling it a wife? Can we stop that?
We can't stop saying nigger. How can we stop
saying wife beater?
Wife beater.
He was a wife. Now, and one will say that. When will say that? Well, he was wearing a wife beater.
Hey, you need to give me a couple of wife beaters. Now, funnily enough, in London, you know what they call wife beater?
Tell me.
Stella Artois. The drink.
The drink?
The drink is called wife beater. Somehow they said that. Okay. Somehow they told me that Stella is because of the wheat content or whatever the beer is made out of makes you angry, and then you wind up having a fight with your wife, and they call it the wife beater. You can ask any British guy, ask any Irish guy at an Irish bar, whatever, they always call Stella Artois wife beater. What's up, babe?
That's hilarious.
So I was like, I said, what do you mean, the tank top? Or
when you said that, the first thing that came to mind was Streetcar Named Desire, where the scene where Frank Kowalski at the end,
I don't remember.
Stella!
Yeah, Stella.
Right. That's what I was thinking of.
That's the real Stella. But yeah, man, I mean, you're right. We have accepted the word wife beater.
It's a wife beater, yep.
It's a wife
and
beater.
we know what they're talking about.
It's a tank top. It's the rib tank top. It's the... Oh no, that's a regular tank top. That's not a wife beater. It's got to have the ribs in it. It's got
some chow. Well, look. What do we call if we see a white van? What do we call? We call it a rape van.
Yeah, rape van. Yeah.
You know,
but that's not as prevalent as white.
No, it's not.
Because if you had a ghetto game show and you said, "What's this?" that could, they trying that with this guy Dion Cole and Tiffany Haddish with this.
Okay,
I don't like it. They have a show which it's like a get.
I saw that Tiffany Haddish special.
It's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
But
as a freshman,
really
as a freshman,
she's really talented.
Right, I look at her as a freshman she did okay for like a rookie year.
That was like her first special.
Yeah, so I look at it like a rookie year type of freshman
she's
thing.
Good.
Yeah, she is pretty good. She's pretty talented.
She's good.
Tom Danger, what up? I see you, boy.
Tommy D, hey.
Tommy Danger.
Got some pictures.
The now and later man.
Yeah,
in the building.
What we call? I guess dirty boots. We'll call like child molester boots or something. Or,
no. But
I gotta tell you a funny
beef
story.
and broccolis, they call them.
They call them beef and broccolis.
Well, the Timberlands with the brown and green ones, they're called beef and broccolis.
Really?
Yeah. Well, this is hood stuff.
Okay.
So
I'm far removed.
Yeah, a little bit. But well, go ahead with your story.
No, I just when you said child molester, when I said child molester, it brought up something that happened when I was in North Carolina. I was in Asheville, North Carolina.
That's not a good thing.
I was in Asheville, North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
Nice spot, lovely spot. I love Asheville, North Carolina. I'm trying to figure out a reason why to go back to Asheville.
Yeah. Well, your daughter's there.
No, she's in Winston-Salem.
Okay.
Which is not too far, but still. So in the mornings, I found a couple of coffee shops that I like.
Yeah.
So I would go there early in the morning. My wife likes to sleep in late, so I would get up early, go there, get on my phone, and just looking through news and stuff like that. I passed by one, and I saw this old destitute guy just sitting outside in the summertime, right? So I said to myself, I'm going to make his day. I got him a cup of coffee. So on the way back, I got him a cup of coffee. I said, hey, you like coffee? He goes, yeah. So I handed him a cup of coffee. I said, there's cream and sugar in that. Is that okay? He said, yeah, man, you're all right, man. You're cool, man. I said, yeah, I appreciate that, man. Okay, man, have a good day. So I'm walking back to where we're staying, and this dude stops me from across the street. He said, hey, let me ask you a question. You gave that guy a cup of coffee? And I said, yeah. He said, what's up with that? And I said, well, just, it was an old
like
destitute guy. Look, he could use a cup of coffee. It was like $2 out of my day. So it was no big deal. The guy says to me, he says, that guy's a serious child molester.
Oh.
I said, what? He said he's touched like every kid in this fucking region. We're trying to get this dude arrested.
Dang.
I was like, oh, shit.
You just ate it in
and I was like, oh, damn. I said, why don't you put a sign on him or something? Just
hang a sign on the guy, put a red dot on his forehead.
And I'm like, fuck, should I go get my coffee back? Should I just...
You may be an avid child molester supporter.
Did I just give him like the energy now to go molest some kids?
You like ramp them up. Man, I'm wired now.
Let me go to middle school.
That's fucked up.
That's just
that is so fucked up. I don't know how you can get out of that one.
I just kept walking. I had no idea. He said, "Yeah, man." I said, "Well, I had no idea." And then I said, "Should we put a sign on him or some shit?"
That is the total guilt. Like you will have that forever. Like
exactly.
Just walking away with that face. Yeah, you're cool, man.
That's right. And here I am thinking, "Oh yeah, I'm a cool dude. Give it a poor guy some coffee." He said, "No, I just ate it."
I thought you were gonna say, "Yeah, that guy owns the place." You know what I'm saying? Like that's typically.
I wish he owned the place. That'd have been a better story.
That'd be a better story.
That'd been a better story. Because now I'm like hoping. I said, "Wow, well, I hope you get him." Shit.
I'm leaving.
Yeah, we can't find this. I'm like, well, how come he's not like arrested and stuff? He's he always gets out on bullshit and stuff like that. And
man,
he said people in the community take turns beating his ass or some shit like that or whatever, and just
Shout out to Asheville, South Carolina,
North Carolina.
North Carolina, yes. They have a team there. They have a D League team or
Asheville.
Yeah, they have a Gatorade team there. D League is
right.
Asheville.
Are D League teams affiliated with, or are they independent?
So they called it the G League now.
Okay.
Because Gatorade came in and pumped all that money into it.
Okay.
So they're all Gatorade teams now, which they don't want to admit. They won't call them Gatorade teams. The Gatorade League. So it's the G League now. And yes, they are sister.
It's the G League with a big Gatorade sign on it.
Right. A big lightning bolt in the back. So, but they are affiliated through the team. It's supposed to be a feeder training ground for development.
Okay.
So the Knicks has the Westchester Knicks.
Right.
Each team, not each team. Some of them can't afford it.
Oh, really?
No, yeah, not every team has.
Oh, I didn't know that.
No, not every team. I think Orlando Magic doesn't have. Utah Jazz doesn't have. There's certain teams that don't have an affiliate team. Some of them, because there's only like 12 or 15 teams in the G League. There's not as many as 40 teams in the NBA.
Yeah.
Yeah, now it's 38 or 40, something like that.
Mhm.
So it's not everybody. It's something that's growing because they're seeing revenue come from it. And they're seeing. I mean, there was a kid Ron played with Bowie, Jay Bowie. He went to play with one of the teams, give himself a nice check. Makes $80,000. Some of them can make some money. You can make a living. It's still pro. It's still pro. It's not NBA pro, but it's a feeder ground.
Right.
So that's interesting. So man, first podcast of the year. We thought we were going to make this a short one. We wound up keeping it funky.
All right. Well,
Oh, we had a dog running.
Okay. But we had a dog run.
Yeah.
We had a dog run. And we had to catch up. So this year should be a good year.
This should be a great year. And we're looking to do some exciting things, some different locations, some different weird stuff.
Some different locations, different guests.
Some different guests.
So, yeah.
Yep. So stay tuned, everybody. Thank you for joining us. 2brosPodcast, episode 16.
Stop.
We are out of here.
Enjoy your day. It's cold.
It's
warm
cold.
up.
Warm up.
Get some coffee.
Yeah. Coffee. If you're from New York, you say coffee.
Coffee.
All right. Peace, everybody.
Love ya.
Peace.
You're watching 2brosPodcast on 13 Ghost TV.
That was fantastic. What were you so worried about?
Peace.